I'm back.
I should have said you're back. Jen's back. I'm back. Good morning, afternoon, and evening. It is Curt and Jen, our podcast. Yes, Jen, after being a few days away, Lake Roosevelt, right?
Yeah, well, so I we
Returned.
actually dropped Macy off, my youngest daughter, in Chelan with her boyfriend and his family because they had a trip
Okay.
they had invited her to. So there was a lot of stipulations, but we did let her go make some memories there. And then we continued on the next day to Lake Roosevelt for 4 nights, and there was hardly any service, so that's why I wasn't able to join.
It would, and if you would have, we would try it, but it'd be sketch, and then we'd find out later that it didn't record right. So anyway, we had Stephen Kilbreth filling in. He did a fine job, but it's really really good to have you back,
Thanks,
back in the
Curt.
saddle again.
And I
But you're
woke up late. I even said, because we rolled in pretty later than we expected last night. And I
mm-hmm,
said to you, I'm like, can we record a little bit later? Because I'm tired from
mm-hmm.
sitting for a whole road trip.
Well,
And
then
then
I should say here, Jen got us started late today
I
because she
did.
wanted
I
to sleep
know.
in.
Seriously, I
Yeah.
we got started late, and then I woke, and on top of all that, I woke up late. Like I set my alarm for PM instead of AM. And now you have me with no makeup. It doesn't matter. I have no deodorant, but I'll
No,
get
we can
myself
tell the
ready
no
anyway.
deodorant even here. Jeez. Um,
Anyway.
Welcome back. You're still in the RV, clearly, which is fine. But so that's, yeah, you got in late last night and just collapsed right there in the RV and didn't even go inside, huh?
Well, I'm still in Cedro because we
Okay,
didn't want to make the trip back last night
got it.
to
But there's a house in Cedro you can stay in too, or do you have to stay in the RV when you're there?
No, he lives in the RV on his property
Oh, the house. Okay.
because he's still remodeling the one he's going to rent, and then he's going to build a house.
Okay. That's all. I just got to remodel this one and then build that one, and we're good to go, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Amazing. You have a
Okay,
good boyfriend.
tell me. Well, first, before I tell you about my trip, tell me about whatever you were going to tell me. You went to Redmond Town Center or something?
Yeah, I met up with some old friends, Elisa and Bob, you know them.
Yeah.
And we were going to meet for dinner at Wild Ginger.
Oh,
But
yum.
Wild Ginger, we of course we had the dog with us. We had our beagle, and then Bob and Elisa have their little Havanese named Jonah. And it turns out that at the time they didn't have enough servers to have a server come outside and serve. So we ended up instead going to, and I love Wild Ginger, but we ended up going to Matt's,
Oh,
and
yeah, that's
they
good too.
yeah, that was my first Matt's experience, and it was phenomenal. It was very very good. But lots of doggies there, which is great. They had a big old German Shepherd who was so sweet and so well behaved, and of course, the Beagle actually did not bark much, which is surprising because that's what she excels at. That's what she gets the gold medal in. Bella, gold medal barker. But she was good yesterday, and the food was delicious, and it was worth the wait because and this is kind of mean. This is why I wanted to jump in here. They had a few four tops on the outside seating area, but I
Yeah.
think three total, and two just had people sit down at them. But the one was she was like, well, they're wrapping things up. They should be out of here soon, like within 15 minutes. So we're okay. We'll wait. No problem. 15, 20, 25, 30 minutes go by. The people are still there. They got their check, like 20 minutes prior, and the check is just sitting there on a table, which we can see. And we're like, come on, pay your check. We want to eat. And I was wondering, are they aware or should they be aware if you're sitting at a table for a long time that the servers want to turn that table and get somebody new in? So is that did you ever serve? No, you never did that for a job.
I worked at a restaurant at Claire's
Okay.
in downtown Edmonds for one hot second, and I
Okay.
hated it. So I because of that one hot second of hate, I know how hard it is.
It's
So,
very hard.
and I do try to be aware if I know that it's a very popular restaurant and there's people
Mhm.
waiting, like I don't want to rush my meal, but also I try to be aware, like, okay, it's time to turn. But there's many restaurants like we've talked about before that tell you, yes,
Oh
you can
yeah.
make a reservation, but we have more people coming in at
Hmm.
7:30. So
You get
at
an
7,
hour, hour and a half, and that's it. So,
yeah. And I'm
uh,
okay with that too. I mean, that's fine. I get it. They're trying to make money.
yep. After we sat down, we just ordered everything on the menu. We got there, and this shouldn't affect things either. But we're watching the clock tick down to the happy hour ending. Okay,
Oh yeah,
because
that
happy hour
sucks.
was over at 6, and we actually finally got seated at 6:57. I mean, it's 5:57 rather.
Oh,
So we're like,
did they let you order?
yes, but we're like,
Okay.
okay, two of these, one of those, we want that. Okay, this thing over here, we'll take a couple of sliders with that, and then the flatbread, that sounds good. And just went like this panic ordering. We got to get this in before
Delicious
happy hour is
though.
over.
That's
So
delicious.
it all worked out happily. So
Kurt, have you
yeah.
ever been to Lake Roosevelt?
No, I've not been to Lake Roosevelt. So people that don't know, it's in the northern part of Washington State by Grand Coulee Dam, close to that.
Yeah, that's what helps make the lake, the dam, the Cooley
Oh,
Dam.
okay. This is the lake on. Okay,
And it's huge. Like it is a mega lake. It's northeastern Washington,
okay,
right? So
yeah.
it's very hot too. Very warm. So I know Lake Roosevelt from I swear, all of my friends who have gone to Lake Roosevelt every year and rented a houseboat. Like I feel like Lake Roosevelt is known for its houseboats, which
Hmm.
looked cool. I've never done that before. And so finally I got to experience Lake Roosevelt, not on a houseboat, which I would, like I said, would love to do. We drove the RV over and stayed at an RV place, and then they had their boats in a slip. The people that we were with, including Pat,
Okay,
had their boats. So we went out every day on the lake. It is so massive, and there's so many great places to explore. And different than Chelan, Lake Chelan, they have so many little hidden coves and beaches that you can just find that then
nice.
becomes your own private beach for the day. Like it was phenomenal. And if you've not done it and have the opportunity to, you should, because it is beautiful. We saw wild horses from the shoreline, wild turkeys. I guess they've seen bears before. We did not have any bear sightings. There's this little zip line in a cove. I did not do it because I did not want to drop in the water, not knowing really anything.
Is that, do you end up, does the zip line drop you in the water at the end? Is that what
Yes,
happens?
yes.
Okay.
And I love zip lining, but I didn't want to do that because there's so many rules. Like, okay, before you take off, you have to bear down your weight because you don't want to bounce off of it onto the rocks.
Okay. Good note.
Anyway,
Yes.
I
Not on the
didn't do it.
rocks.
And then it was just, you know what? It was a good time with friends. We played a new game. You know me, I love games. We played this game, Nickels, where it's a
Hmm.
dice game and you have this card. I can share it because I have a photo of it. And if you're interested, I can share it with you. It's really fun group game. And then they also had this game where you had to have, well, I mean, have a beer in your hand or something. Like you have to have something in your hand, and the other hand is used, and you play it in the water. There's a frisbee and you throw it at the pole, and there's a bottle on the top of this pole. So you try to, the goal is to hit the other team's pole and knock the bottle up.
Bottle off the pole.
On the other side, while they're trying to do that to you, you have to try to catch the bottle before it hits the water. It was a yard sale. I mean, Pat, of course, was so good at it, and we won a game because of him. We just
What
say
did you
that,
win?
bragging rights, but
Oh,
we weren't the true winners. I was the like link, the like, what do you call that? The weak link in the team, on the
I'm
team.
sure you weren't. Whenever we
No,
do things, you're
I
like,
know.
I'm just here to cheer at the trivia games. I'm just here to
You
cheer.
know me, how competitive I am. I was the weak link, and I hated it so
Well,
much.
at least you didn't lose any money. There was no money on it, right?
On Nichols there was, but
What's the passing lane phenomenon?
oh, I forgot to tell you this too. So Pat is in this motorhome. In his motorhome, it's a diesel pusher, has and is pulling a boat, right? So he doesn't go very fast,
Right.
but people that go slow on a lot of one lane roads that we're traveling to get back home, and these people were going so slow, not the speed limit at all. So when it's time for their passing lane, and Pat knows where all the passing lanes are because he's traveled all around, so he
Right.
knows. He's like, okay, there's a passing lane coming
Coming
up,
up.
and mark my words, these people are all going to speed up so I cannot pass them. And
Hmm.
I had, there was a different person in my life at one time that it said the same thing. And it is true. Like these people were literally going 55 or less in a 60-mile-per-hour zone. We come to the passing lane, and no kidding, they are going 70 miles an hour. So Pat cannot pass them. And then after the passing lane's over, back down to 55.
You know what? I kind of wonder if it's not a subconscious thing, that, because to me, I'd like, well, this doesn't, and trust me, I understand this doesn't make sense, but hear me out. If it was me, I'm like, oh, I don't want to be behind that, the big RV pulling a boat. That guy's going to go slow for sure. But it's like, no, you're the one going slow, idiot. So, I don't get it, but I've noticed that as well. That some, even in a regular vehicle, I wonder if they're, just not really paying attention and drifting off and whatever. And then all of a sudden you go to pass and they're like, oh, I'm only going 55, which
I
is
don't even know.
counterproductive. At
But
that
then
point, I
going back
say,
down, but then going back down
mm-hmm,
in your speed is ridiculous to me. Anyway,
yeah.
I don't want to spend a lot of time on that. I just needed to bring that phenomenon up because is mind blowing. Seriously.
And okay,
What the hell?
let's, you know what, we all have the same goal. We're trying to get someplace. So let's work together, everybody. Yeah.
Just go
Work
at
together.
least the speed limit for crying out loud. Anyway, okay. Things that
Olympics.
you probably want to know. Let's go through some
Oh,
of these
no, this
things.
is very important because this just
Yeah.
came down.
Yeah. Kamala Harris picks Minnesota Governor Tim Walz as her running mate. So that's
Yep.
huge. That's
Yep. Tim
number
Walz
one.
is going to be potentially the vice president. So there you go. It'll be Harris slash Walls. The Harris Walls bumper stickers will be out before too long.
Okay.
Tim Walz will be her running mate. So that is new and just in. And also it's election day,
That's
primary
right.
election day.
Get those ballots mailed in. I think they have to be postmarked by 8 o'clock tonight, I think is what it is. Or just drop it in your ballot box. Because have you voted yet, Curt?
We no, we got Dana's going to drop them off on our way to work. They've been filled out.
So your guys are using the local ballot box. I mailed
Right.
mine in last week, so we're
Okay.
good.
We're
Your
good.
vote counts. Listen to me, my words, please. Your
Okay.
vote counts.
Your vote
Please
does
vote.
count.
Please vote.
Deadpool and Wolverine still dominating. After 10 days
Yeah.
in theaters, the movie Deadpool and Wolverine, already the highest grossing R-rated movie ever, is now even more higher grossing R-rated movie ever.
No,
All right.
here's the thing. It broke records is what it did in its second weekend. In its
Mm-hmm.
second weekend, it collected $97 million. And so
More.
that brings their 2 week total to 395,600,000, pushing it past the long reigning top R-rated feature, which is The Passion of Christ, that has held that mark for 20 years.
So again,
What?
this is not biggest movie of all time. This is biggest R-rated movie.
Right. Because
Highest grossing.
those Disney movies, they gross a lot because it's the family movies, and so lots of people go at the same time.
Yes, but you don't see as many Disney R-rated movies anymore.
No, that's what I'm saying, Curt.
The R-rated Disney movies.
That they have to specifically make this the R-rated record because Disney, I believe, I'm
Oh,
certain that Disney holds the record for highest grossing movie of all time.
well, one of them that's not an R-rated movie. I mean, we there's over they brought in over 1 billion, for like Avatar and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
so so Deadpool and Wolverine has a way to go to get to that point, but they're doing all right. They're getting off to a decent start. How about that?
For sure. And I cannot wait to see it. I still haven't seen it. I just wanted to mention that it's National Night Out Day.
Mm,
And that means it always happens the first Tuesday in August, and it's to promote police community partnerships in neighborhoods across our nation. So there's
right,
probably one happening in your neighborhood that if you wanted to support, you could. I'm just bringing it to your attention. I know for like the Seattle Police Department, people had to register their neighborhood if they wanted to participate, so that they could schedule a police officer to come out, or
right,
a team of officers to come out just to goodwill it. They're totally into it, and I love it. I used to be married to a police officer, a
right,
Seattle police officer specifically for 21 years, and it is
right.
a hard job. I don't care about how you feel about the police. I mean, I do care, but you are going to believe what you're going to believe. But it's
It
a
is a hard job.
it is a freaking hard job.
Hmm.
They get a bad rap, and they do so much good.
Without question. I had my friend across the street that was a officer for Edmonds. He talked about how the firefighters show up and they're the heroes, and the cops show up and they're like, eh.
Yeah, they razz each other about that, right? The cops and the firefighters, because they know, you make life choices. You chose
Right.
to be a cop, and it is that rap. But even the firefighters know how, the kind of rap that police
Important.
officers get. And you know what? You can rag on them all you want, but when you're in an emergency situation and they come to save the day, you're going to appreciate them, and you're going to hate it
That's
if they
true.
don't, right?
That's right.
Anyway, I'm done with that. It is National Night Out Day. It's a great they want to be partners in your community, and so if there's something going on in your community, it'd be awesome if you went to support it.
Plus, it's a
Definitely.
great way to meet your neighbors. Often you don't even know, I mean, it used to be everybody knew everybody. It seems like now you hardly know
Yeah.
any of your neighbors. So it's a good thing, National Night Out.
Kurt, give us the Olympics
Olympics.
update. Yeah, I have not hardly
Uh,
watched any of it. I just see some of the highlights on social. So tell me more.
well, we're in the week 2 now
Mhm.
of the Olympics, and we'll get to that in a second. But just to catch you up on things, Team USA added 8 more medals yesterday, Monday, at the Olympics. We have another gold in women's discus. We also took home silver medals for men's pole vault, mixed skeet shooting, the mixed triathlon relay, and then Simone Biles, the legend, the GOAT, she had to settle for silver in women's floor. All right.
Mm.
So but there's yet another medal. And then Jordan Childs took bronze in the women's floor, and the women's 3-on-3 basketball also won bronze. There is all of the medals from yesterday. So
I heard
we
this
have
about,
now, are we tied with China
yeah, I think we're tied with China in gold
for gold
medals, right?
medals?
In gold
21
medals.
medals each. Yeah.
We were lagging behind only in the gold category, and I think now we're tied. I mean, that's probably changed by now because France is ahead of us in time wise, but that's the update we've got for you
Right.
right
And
now.
for the record, Simone Biles said yesterday, they're like, okay, she finished up. Unfortunately, she lost her balance on the balance beam. I then fell off. And they said, so that's a wrap for her 2024 Olympics and maybe her Olympic career. But then someone asked Simone if she'd be back in 2028, and her response was, never say never.
Never say never.
But then she's like, I'm getting really old. She's
Well,
28,
for a gymnast,
27.
for a
Yeah.
gymnast competing at that level, that is
Yeah.
older. It's
She'll
rough
be
on your
31 by
body.
then, which
Yeah.
of course is very old for a gymnast as far as a competing gymnast. So,
So our total
uh,
medal count is 79, and China has a overall medals, like total medals that we have, and they have 53.
well, the reason we started talking about Olympics other than the show was
Oh
because I
my.
said, well, we're into week 2 now, so all the cool stuff is over, which I thought, I wondered if, is that true? Do they say we're going to have all the big stuff in the first week, and week 2 is going to be the lesser known stuff? And it seems that we still do have some, like this week, I guess the biggies are going to be, there is still some things left with badminton. Basketball's got some more things to do. Beach volleyball goes on through Saturday rather, boxing. Um, but also cycling. Do you watch the cycling? No.
I
Yeah.
haven't watched hardly any Olympics this year, which I'm kind of a little disappointed with myself, but I'm just not a
Uh,
big TV watcher.
There's more diving coming up. There's more equestrian today,
So
and that's it for the horsies.
there's plenty of sports and breaking. We haven't even seen the new sport breaking yet.
That's the thing. The breakdancing is going to happen. Breakdancing gets all of one day, and that day is going to be 2 days, Friday and Saturday. If you're interested in watching the breakdancing, it's still coming up Friday and Saturday.
And closing ceremonies is on Sunday. So
There you
there's
go.
that. Now there's
Yep.
the boys in the boat. I saw this story and I'm like, Kurt, tell me more about this. And you're
Mm.
like, I don't know. I gotta look it up.
Yeah, the movie. Well, there was a big movie. The
Huge.
event happened in way back when, and I don't even know what year it was. Was it the 30s?
Yeah. No, I'll
See?
look it up while you tell a story. We should have known this. The boys in the boat.
Okay, so the movie The Boys in the Boat was about the University of Washington rowing team, or actually it was it wasn't just the Washington rowing team, but and we've not seen it yet, but it's one of those things like Miracle, where you watch the movie and you're like, oh my God, this is just chills from watching it.
The shot of the real life members of the 1936 Team USA Olympic men's 8 rowing team, and it was the boys in the boat from the University of Washington.
Okay,
And
it
I
was
don't
then.
want to spoil the movie, but this is going to spoil it. So if you haven't watched the movie yet and you don't
Well,
want it
don't
to be
don't don't
spoiled,
spoil it then.
you have
Don't
to. The
spoil
story,
it.
the whole Olympic story that we're about to talk about is spoiling it.
No, it's not.
It
We're
is.
just go we no, we're just going to say that nearly a century after the boys in the boat, the U.S. men's 8 boat in rowing, they won bronze, and it has half of that team is Husky rowers from the University of Washington. So I guess we've got some decent rowers around these parts.
Yeah, we do. I love
On
it.
Saturday, this was a couple days ago. So on Saturday, the Team USA, the rowers, the men's 8, they placed third. Great Britain got gold, Netherlands got silver. But again, I didn't know that half of the rowing team was from UW, and the rowing coach in the Olympics is the University of Washington rowing coach Michael Callahan.
No
So
way. I didn't know that
Hmm.
either. That's awesome. Okay, well now you know. Proud to be a Pacific
Go
Northwesterner.
dogs.
Yeah, go dogs is right. Okay, so this next story is hilarious. It still has to do with the Olympics. And at first I'm like, we are not talking about this story, Curt
Hmm.
Cruz. And then you
Hmm.
mentioned how much money he was offered by a certain site. And then I'm like,
And
all right, we'll talk
we got to
about it.
talk about this.
So
You may
there's
have
this,
heard it was the French pole vaulter Anthony Ammirati.
yeah. So
Ammirati
he missed his pole vault because his a certain body part got
package. Yeah, his
caught up on the
bulge is what they're
pole.
saying. So the bulge caught on the pole in the pole vault, so it knocked the pole off, right? And that means that okay,
Yeah,
he
that's
but
bad.
what it says is his bulge may have played a role in costing him Olympic gold, but since then, he's been contacted by a porn site, and they're offering him $250,000 to do a 60-minute webcam show where he shows
Exposes his
himself to the
pull.
world.
He exposes his pull to the world.
Jeez.
Now listen to this. So I'm like, come on. It was his cup that got caught. And so I look up, what is his name? Anthony Armati images, right? And
Hmm.
they're sure as the sun in the sky. He there's a picture of him in a Speedo. Let's just say his cup was full. His cup over
His cuppeth overfloweth. Well, because right away I'm like, well, maybe he just put on a really big cup. You never know. Maybe he likes to have a little breathing room in there. I don't know. But according to you, you've seen him in a Speedo, and it's so anyway. I guess this porn site, maybe they're on to something.
ladies,
Uh,
it's worth looking up.
Anthony Amirati. God, I suck.
Hammurabi
So,
or
but
Hammurabi?
people
Yeah.
are always looking at the Olympics. That's how they make money, endorsements and stuff. So,
I
does
mean,
that count as an endorsement?
I would go with yes on that. That's a big endorsement.
Stop it.
All
A
right. Okay.
big.
I had to say this because I'm a hopeless romantic. Olympic rower Justin Best is leaving Paris with a gold medal and a fiance.
Mm-hmm.
He
Mm-hmm.
helped Team USA win its first rowing gold medal in the men's four class since 1960. That hasn't happened since 1960. And then, just days later, he popped the question to his girlfriend Lainey live on TV during the Today Show broadcast in
Of the
Paris.
Olympics.
I mean, I don't want to go through this whole thing because it's a lot. I just want you to say, if you're a hopeless romantic, read his story. Like, let me just read this. I know, here's what he said to her. I knew you were special. It was the first date I said to you I wanted to go to the Olympics, and you, without question, said, yeah, absolutely, go for it. And he's like, you're stunningly beautiful, ferociously intelligent. Your kindness bent leaps and bounds, and I don't know anyone else that doesn't love you as well. This is the easiest question I've ever had to ask. Will you marry me? Oh,
Are you getting misty?
I just love that kind of stuff. It was, of course, in front of the Eiffel Tower and
Right.
all the romantic things.
That raises the bar for everybody else. Let me see. I won a gold medal and I proposed to my now wife,
Right.
with 2 billion people watching at the Olympics. Good for them. Good for
Oh,
Justin.
geez. Okay, we talked about how my alarms didn't go off, and I set
Right.
several. Kurt, and now
Yes.
you're telling me it's bad for my health?
Well, I knew it was bad for your health, and or I've heard it's not good to set multiple alarms. Although we're all guilty of either setting multiple alarms or using the snooze.
Yeah.
A nurse is explaining why setting multiple alarms is bad for your health, and
Tell me.
it makes sense. So she's saying good sleep hygiene is a big part of your physical and your mental health. That is true. Waking to multiple alarms every morning seriously disrupts your REM sleep, which then causes drowsiness throughout the day, fatigue, and mood swings. And it also increases cortisol levels, rather, because every time your alarm goes off, you are in fight or flight response. I didn't think about that. When you wake up, is that like immediately you're in fight or flight
Oh,
response?
so she's just saying set one alarm, and when it goes off, get up?
Yep.
Or is she saying don't set an alarm at all and just wake up when you wake up and
Well,
show
there's that as well.
show
Most people
up?
don't have that option. Basically, waking up the way we just described is very stressful on your body and on your brain. Don't cause yourself any physical and mental stress. I didn't know this. The excess cortisol levels make you gain and hang on to weight as well. Oh, don't say it.
I'm not going to. Calling me fat, I will not say it. All right. The average person has around 5 friends, just like 50 years ago. It's not changed.
We would think in the day well, also I think unfortunately the definition of friends has changed a little bit since we have social media friends that maybe I mean I have social media friends that I don't even know who they are. Is I mean maybe somebody you bumped into at a bar or going through
Yeah.
the coffee drive-through. Hey, you should follow me. Okay.
Or now there's
So
AI
even with all
companion,
that,
like there's the AI companion thing. So
we
anyway,
talked
the
about that yesterday when Stephen was here. That's it's I think it's just called Friend, and it's that necklace you can get that. Did you hear about this, Jen? Basically, it's a necklace you wear that will converse with you. So it learns all about you, and so maybe you're walking along, your necklace is going to say, you know, hey, there's a Five Guys up there. You want to go to lunch or whatever, and then
that's what it
or
does.
yeah. The AI companion necklace. I wish I still had the story up from yesterday. But basically, it's an AI thing that knows a lot about you and keeps you company and can have conversations. And, and I even joked, will it argue with you? Like, you're like, hey, AI necklace, I really like that movie. And the necklace says, I thought it sucked. So
Hmm.
the long and the short of it is, even with all the options you have in this day and age, the average person has around 5 friends. Not you, Jen. You have about 500 friends.
Well, here's the thing. It's 4 to 5 people that that you or they consider to be true friends.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, I think that's probably about right. You've got your 4 to 5, strong go-tos. I mean, I
You
have
do. I have zero.
that
I'm
is a
kidding.
bunch of crap, Curt, please. Whatever. I am sad about that AI companion thing. I mean, I guess it's good if you're lonely, right? And it's the only thing you have, but I really hope people have their tribe. I mean, it's what keeps you going. So,
Yeah.
anyway,
I want to, you know what? I'm going to see if I can find about it from yesterday if you have some time to kill because it was pretty I mean it's for if you're lonely or whatever the case may be. Oh, by the way, it costs $99.
that's pretty cheap for a
A
friend.
promo video for a new product called Friend blew up on social media, a virtual companion you wear like a necklace.
Oh, send me
Um,
that link. I want to see it. Will you send that
okay.
to me? Send that to me, please.
Like, so
Okay.
they have an ad showing a woman having a conversation where the message pops up, say this place is completely underrated. So you can't actually have conversations with it, but I will send you that link.
People are going to look at you like you're freaking crazy, like you're talking to yourself.
That already happens all the time when we first saw people with the
Oh, yeah, I mean,
ear
I guess that's
pods.
true. You're right.
I mean,
Okay,
yeah.
science has shown it really does hurt to think.
Tell me about this. It hurts to think.
Have you ever come out of a grueling study session or a marathon work meeting and felt like your brain was throbbing? Well, it does. It hurts to think. According to new scientific research, it really does hurt to think, but not exactly in the way that you'd expect.
Hmm.
In general, people really dislike mental effort. This is the author of this whole study. The harder
Right.
people have to think, the more unpleasant they find the experience. So thinking hurts because it's so uncomfortable.
Hmm.
The
I
good
don't.
news is,
A lot of people like to challenge. I mean, even with trivia, or you like to do puzzles and stuff like that. I would think that's. I look forward to the challenge of having to think. I suppose I don't find it unpleasant.
well, I think it's like the harder people have to think, the more unpleasant they find the experience. And the good news is that we're all in the same boat. Like, no matter what your education level, it just depends on what kind of task you have. But if you have, it just like, it's subjective on what you're
Okay.
thinking, whatever it is that you have to think for, I guess is how you'd say it.
Yeah.
Some people might think that, anyway, there's no physical hurt other than the unpleasant feeling, is the bottom line, but it does hurt to think because it's uncomfortable.
Right. And well, sometimes I feel like you think so hard on something, it actually does give you a headache, and then you get the physical along with it.
But
And you
here's the
think,
thing.
what?
Putting in the work now leads to growth, achievement, and the sweet satisfaction of conquering it. So power through the uncomfortable. That's all I'm
Okay.
going to say.
Well put. Um, you, Jen, are a person who, let's just say, finds the experience of shopping enjoyable,
I
right?
love it. It's yes. Especially if I find a good deal, like if I find
That's
a
what,
good bargain,
mhm.
that is like awesome for me.
That's where I saw this, and it turns out that there's the good feeling you get from you could call it the buzz you get from a good bargain or finding a good bargain. Somehow the science is breaking it down to the fact that that lasts 216 minutes, about 3.5 hours. If you find a good smoking deal and you get something, yeah,
Yeah,
probably lasts longer than that. Every time you bring it up, you're like, oh my God, I got to tell you about
yeah.
this.
I mean, that's what
It's
I was
such a
just
good
gonna
deal.
say. I'm like, I guess, yeah, for the first rush of it, but then, if it's a piece of clothing or whatever you're using it, I still get, I'm like, ooh, I got this for a good deal. I got it for a
Yeah.
real good deal.
Well, they're saying, yeah, that what they're calling the post-purchase glow, about 3.5 hours. And then 1 in 3 people feel the buzz longer than that, especially if it's a super, super good bargain, I suppose. I don't know.
Okay. All right.
All right. 10
Um,
people say it boosts their mood for the entire day. So if you want to have a mood boost every day, buy something
no, at a
every
good
day.
bargain. It has to be a good bargain though,
It has to be a good
right?
bargain. And what,
Doesn't it have
yeah,
to be a good, that's the whole thing, a good bargain. Okay. Tell me about this perfume for dogs, Kurt. I mean, I know you love dogs, but come on.
I'm not going to invest in this, but it is from Dolce&Gabbana. You've heard of them.
Yes, I have.
Selling perfume for dogs. They just launched a new perfume at Dolce&Gabbana. It's called Fefe,
Say,
which is,
where do you put it on the dog? You know what I'm saying? Like for us, like for women, we squirt some maybe on our neck and on our wrists. I squirt it and I run through it.
that I shouldn't be surprised that's the first question you ask, but let me read some of the stuff here. It's been approved by vets, this Dolce&Gabbana perfume for dogs. Apparently it lasts all day and dogs seem to really enjoy the scent. So that makes me say, well, what is the scent? Is it other dogs' butts? Probably
That's what I
not.
was just gonna say, because that's what dogs like to sniff. What is it?
The website describes it as an quote olfactory masterpiece featuring the cocooning and warm notes of ylang. No idea. Plus the clean and enveloping touch of musk, along with the woody, creamy undertones of sandalwood.
Come on.
Hmm. Well, at least you don't have to spend a lot for it. A 3.5 ounce bottle is just $100.
Just over $100. I'm reading this now. Probably
It's
because
not
the
cheap,
logo is front plated with 24 karat gold.
I
Come on.
suppose.
Here's the thing. I think this is absolutely ridiculous, but people are going to buy it for their dogs. They are because people
Yep.
love their dogs
Well,
and
it
they want
also
them to
comes with
have
a
the very
free,
best of everything.
you get a free Dolce& and Gabbana dog collar with a personalized name tag. All that for the low, low price of
Just over 100
$100.
US dollars. Unreal. All right.
I like it.
We are
So,
so glad you joined us today.
yes, we have something fun for you tomorrow. And
Here's the
this,
thing.
because, yeah, you were talking over the weekend with some of your younger friends.
Well, no, actually Pat's friends, now my friends, which I'm so blessed. They're awesome. We
Hmm.
were all talking about just how our kids, and mine are the youngest of the group because I started having kids later. But like Pat's son David, he's 26 years old.
Hmm.
I keep telling him this. I said, don't take this weird, but you are going to make the best boyfriend ever. Like he has taken a page from Pat's playbook, his dad's playbook, and he is super thoughtful and kind and he's nice looking. But
He's a
he,
good dude. Yeah, I've met him a few times. He's a good guy.
and same with Michael, his middle son.
Hmm.
Michael's 27. He's going to be 28 soon.
And we all
Like,
have these friends that are like, you're such a good catch,
yeah,
and of course they respond, well, where's that person, huh? You
exactly.
tell
Like
me.
they want to find their person more than anything, and it's like, why can't they find a good quality partner? Same with my friend Cher. She has two sons who are beautiful humans.
Hmm.
Can't find a partner. So this just begs the question, um,
Well, we could have
as
asked, go ahead.
no, I was gonna say as parents, we're dealing with this, right? So we were gonna go down the road like, how do you help your kids? Well, maybe we just help them by here's some suggestions on how to meet people, I guess. Like, how did you meet your partner? The
And
interesting
that's what
way.
we want to know. Yeah. And it's we're hoping for, because everybody could say, the common things, get on a dating site, or meet him at church or go to a bar, whatever the case may be. So we're looking at the interesting ways that you met your partner, which maybe, could help out with some of these other people that are looking to meet their special someone.
Yeah, seriously.
Interesting ways. I mean, I met Dana on eHarmony. So
Yeah,
that's where we met.
and I met Pat on Hinge. It's a dating site.
So that's obviously a way a lot of people do it these days. But there's plenty of people like, no, we actually were on. I was on vacation in Vegas, and I bumped into him in a slot machine, and it was love at first sight. Whatever, you know. So interesting ways you met your partner. That's what we're looking for tomorrow. You can leave that in the comments below, and we will dive in.
Dive in. Uh,
Dive in.
we appreciate you making us part of your day, like we said. We
Mhm.
really are grateful for that. We are, please let people know, your friends know, if they might enjoy this. That's how we're going to grow, and we would appreciate your help in the
Yeah,
meantime.
absolutely. And for those, we also keep in mind, we've been hearing from some people, well, I'd love to watch or listen to the podcast, but I don't know how to access podcasts, so which is for newer people that are just getting into it. That's a legitimate thing. So if you have friends that
Help
you
teach
think would
them.
like it, show them how to use a podcast or how
Show
to
them the
watch
way.
one or
Show them the way. And we're going to start posting more different links. Like, I usually only post on our Facebook page. That's what you can tell people. Be friends on our Facebook page, and we'll post the link and make it real easy for you. So, anyway,
absolutely.
in the meantime, have
Absolutely.
a great day. Make good choices, find joy, and spread kindness.